Imagine this. You're alone in a room where the air feels thicker, almost as if it's watching you. You see a glass case in the corner, and inside, Meg, is a doll. An old, worn doll. His face is frozen in a sinister smirk. His eyes, dark and glassy, but there's something about those eyes. They feel alive, as if they're following your every move. This it's not any doll, Meg. This is Robert, and the story we're about to tell you, it's not a legend. It's 100% true.
Don't.
There it is. Robert the doll.
Robert?
Yeah.
Of all the names, Robert?
Trust me, you'll know. It's
Okay.
a relic from another time. But he's more than that. Over the past century, he's been accused of causing accidents, illness, broken relationships, and even death. Today, we're going to dive into the chilling, true events surrounding Robert and unravel the mystery of why so many people fear him. If you think you're ready, let's begin. Meg, I'm going to tell you, this is a good one. We've seen this one. We're fans of ghost hunting shows. Remember Ghost Hunters?
Yeah.
Do you remember Robert the doll from the Ghost Hunters episode?
I remember dolls.
This one's gonna...
I tend to fall asleep really fast.
Fair enough. Let's do the intro, and let's really try to understand Robert's story. What do you think?
Okay. I'm in for it.
All right. Ready? Let's go. Right now. All right. We need to go back to the early 1900s, Meg.
Okay.
Key West, Florida. You ever heard of it?
Duh.
The doll. It was a gift to a boy named Robert Eugene Otto. Not Otto, the bus driver from The Simpsons. A different one. He was an artist described as eccentric, who prolonged the prominent Key West family. Though many called him Gene. It was purchased by Otto's grandfather while on a trip to Germany in 1904 and given to a young Otto as a birthday gift. The doll was about 3 foot tall, dressed in a sailor suit, and according to legend, was originally meant to be a mannequin for a window display of clowns and jesters. Robert's little sailor suit, it wasn't supplied by the company, but it was apparently and allegedly an outfit that Otto himself wore as a child. Robert's origins to the Steiff Company, a German company, the same toy maker, Meg, that first manufactured a teddy bear. In honor of who?
Theodore Roosevelt.
The old Teddy Roosevelt. But there was something off about this gift from the start. Gene's parents reportedly heard him having full conversations with Robert, where Gene's voice would speak, and then a different, eerie voice would respond. What started as an innocent little relationship between a boy and his doll soon spiraled into something far more disturbing. And again, this is spooky season, Meg. And this is spooky of all spooky. And if you don't love this, Meg, and viewer and listener discretion advised, we had to do it. It's October, right? It's spooky season.
Absolutely.
And if you don't love this, blame Meg. And nobody's ever going to just kind of blame that pigtailed, beautiful little Meggy Boo. All right. Gene. He became obsessed with Robert, taking him everywhere, speaking about him as though he were alive. But soon, strange things began to happen in the Otto household. Furniture would mysteriously be overturned, objects would go missing, and the sound of giggling could be heard when no one was in the room. When questioned, Gene always had the same response. What was it, Meg?
Robert did it.
Oh, Robert.
Oh, Robert.
Gene grows older, but guess who remained by his side? Robert. His parents, however, became increasingly Disturbed by their son's behavior and the strange events that surrounded the doll, visitors to the Otto house would often report feeling very uneasy in Robert's presence. Some claimed the doll's facial expressions would change, watching them with dark, beady eyes, and they even seemed to follow them around the room. Jean's parents, desperate for peace, actually tried locking Robert away in the attic, but this only made things worse. Neighbors reported seeing Robert appear in different windows of the house, despite the doll supposedly being locked upstairs. And it wasn't just the Otto family that noticed Robert's strange behavior. Local children, they swore they saw him move, even when no one else was around. Jean's parents, unfortunately, they pass away, and Jean, who was now a grown man at this time, inherited the family house. He moved back in with, well, Robert, of course. The doll remains stored in the Otto family at 534 Eaton Street in Key West, Florida, while Otto studied art in New York and Paris. Otto marries Annette Parker in Paris, May 3rd, 1930. The couple returned to the Otto family home in Key West to live there till Otto died in 1974. His wife died 2 years after. Evan, sorry, that might be a relation to me. Even during the marriage, his wife Annette insisted, because of the old husband, keeping the doll in their home, even much to her discomfort. I mean, there's a creepy doll in the house. What's your take if I'm like, hey, Meg, can I keep this creepy doll in the house that I've had forever?
No.
Straight up no?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Maybe locked behind
well, this was
a
locked.
glass cabinet, I guess, maybe.
This is how Robert was. But even then, if things weren't worse, Robert the doll was given his own room, complete with a chair, by the window. It wasn't long before Annette, too, began experiencing Robert's unsettling presence. I feel like you just got to go with it at this point, Meg.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
according to Annette, she often heard footsteps pacing in Robert's room, even though the doll's all alone. Doors, they slam shut. Lights, they flicker. She felt an overwhelming sense of dread whenever that doll was near her. Jean, who, however, he was unwavering in his loyalty to Robert, insisting that doll, Meg, just harmless.
Mm-hmm.
But guess what? Annette, she knew otherwise. Let's fast forward a little bit to 1974, but it's a rewind to present day in our life. Jean, Otto, the owner of Robert, he passes away 1974. But Robert's story, it's far from over. After Jean's death, the house was sold to Myrtle Reuter, who owned it for 20 years. And with that, Robert's reign of terror begins anew. The new owners, like many before, initially thought Robert was nothing more than just a creepy, eerie old doll. But it wasn't long before strange occurrences started happening again. The family, we've heard it once, we'll hear it twice, we'll hear it 27 times. The footsteps in the hallways, objects, they're being moved. And worst of all, Robert's eyes. They seem to watch every little move. But the final straw, Meg, came when the couple's daughter started to claim that Robert actually tried to physically attack her in the middle of the night.
Yikes.
That's, whew. Obviously, they're terrified. The family decides to get rid of Robert. But what do you do with a haunted doll? You can't burn them. You can't throw them away. So what did they do, Meg? They donate him to the Fort East Martello Museum in Key West, Florida.
That sounds like a wise thing to do.
I feel like it is, but is it? To this day, oh, Robert, he's housed there in a glass case. But even with the safety of that museum. You think it's safe, Megan, so do others. Robert continues to wreak havoc. Museum employees and visitors alike have reported feeling just this deep sense of unease around the doll. Some claim to have even seen him move within said glass case, while others, they report hearing strange giggling noises when the room is empty. But one of the strangest phenomena, which is one of my favorite words to say, associated with Robert, is the string of misfortunes.
What's the word?
Phenomena.
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 But
Phenomena.
those who disrespect Robert, they pay the price. Visitors, some of them, they tend to mock or take a picture of Robert without asking for permission. And then, Meg, they find themselves plagued by bad luck. Museum staff actually have received dozens of letters each year from so many visitors apologizing to Robert, begging for Robert's forgiveness after accidents, illnesses, or even sudden losses of loved ones.
Wow.
Don't go to this museum and make fun of this doll. Don't mock him. I'm telling you, there's forces that we don't know. Let's dive into a couple of accounts from visitors who have had chilling.
Doesn't seem like a good track record.
No, don't mess with Robert. Old Bobby. Yeah, no, don't. So there was a couple of incidences, some chilling experiences, you might say, with Robert. And these stories that have been documented over the years, they all share a common thread. Well, obviously it's Robert. One visitor, a man named David, he actually took a picture of Robert without asking permission, despite warnings from the museum staff. The very next day, his car, there was a freak accident, and David narrowly escaped with his life. He later sent an apology letter to the museum and convinced that Robert had caused the accident. Then we got another woman, Linda. Some people even potentially named their vehicle Linda. Laughed at Robert, calling him what, Meg?
Silly old doll.
Oh, that's a mistake, because 2 days later, her house catches fire. She lost almost everything in the house. Linda then sends an apology letter to Robert, along with a little offering, asking him to lift the curse. So what's the truth behind Robert the doll? Some believe the doll is cursed, possibly by a servant in the Otto household who practiced voodoo. Others suggest that Jean's intense attachment to Robert may have kind of sparked some dark energy, a phenomenon known as tulpa, where the power of belief brings an inanimate object to life. Some other versions of the legend suggest that a young girl, a Bohemian girl, gave the doll to Robert Eugene Otto, either as a gift, maybe even as a revenge for a pre-deceived wrongdoing. Other accounts, they claim that the doll was able to move voodoo figurines around the room and was fully aware of its surroundings. Some stories, though, Meg, they even say that the doll mysteriously disappeared after Otto's house changed hands multiple times after he passed away. Another belief is, though, that the young Otto accidentally activated the doll's supernatural powers by blaming his childhood mischief on it. But according to folklore, oh my gosh, Robert, leave her alone. Robert, are you okay?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Holy cow, Robert,
Almost bit.
we're gonna send a letter.
Sorry, everybody.
It's okay.
It happens.
Robert the doll, though, he's been blamed for a series of tragic events, but not this one, because Meg's okay. There was car accidents, broken bones, job loss, divorce, and a wide range of misfortunes. Museum visitors who failed to show proper respect to Robert are said to experience coughing fits like Meg just had, but even more bad luck after their visit, often referred to as post-visit misfortunes. Psychologists, on the other hand, they argue that the events surrounding Robert, they're simply just a result of collective hysteria or suggestion. But even the skeptics, they can't explain the sheer number of bizarre incidents tied to the doll, or the chilling atmosphere seems to follow him wherever he goes. Today, Rabbit the Doll remains a popular attraction at the Fort East Martello Museum in the Old Key West in Florida. This doll draws visitors from around the world. And since Robert arrived, visitors they flock to the museum to get a look at the mischievous little toy. He's appeared on TV shows, like we've already talked about. Are you okay? You're yawning so hard. Are you going to fall asleep? Robert, leave my wife alone.
I'm sorry.
But, I mean, he's been on shows, the Ghost Hunters, Ghost Adventures. I think that Ghost Adventures that we've watched. And he's had the Aurora actually photographed. Just making sure you're picturing, like the Kid Rock song, him and Sheryl Crow. He is a stop on a ghost tour, and he's inspired a horror movie. He has a Wikipedia entry and social media accounts. Fans can actually buy Robert replicas. No, we're not getting one, Meg. Books, coasters, and t-shirts. And the most adventurers, they can actually volunteer to be locked in with Robert after dark. Would you like that?
Not sure.
Not so much.
Debatable.
I'm not going in. But
I might.
Hey, you know what you can do, though? You can write them. Send him a little letter. But they aren't typical fan letters that he does receive. They're usually apologies. Many visitors attribute post-visit misfortunes if you don't respect Robert. And when you don't respect him, you try to write a letter. You beg for forgiveness. Others, though, they seem to ask him for advice or to hex those who have wronged them. Robert does receive emails, and at some point it became known that Robert had a sweet tooth. So for whatever reason, people actually leave and send him candy. Wonder if it's my favorite candy, the Dots.
I feel like it's saltwater taffy.
All right, we'll have to chime in and see what the sweet tooth of old Robert is. But once he received a box containing 8 bags of peppermints, a card, no return address. But be warned, if you ever visit, it's best to show Robert the utmost respect. Because, as the stories show, he's always watching, and he never forgets. Convertito is Robert's caretaker. Once a year, she administers a checkup, taking him out of the case, weighing him, to assess whether the human flow weather has adversely affected his straw-filled body. She's also the proxy, receiving and reading all the emails, letters, and actually runs the social media accounts. And actually, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the legend of Robert the Doll. I mean, this is wild. Whether you believe in curses or not, Robert's story, it's a chilling reminder that sometimes the most terrifying things, Meg, are the ones we can't explain.
True that.
So I'm going to throw this out there. If you ever find yourself in Key West, please stop by, show some respect. Say hey to Robert. Write a note. Bring some candy. Why are you still yawning? Am I boring you?
No, my ears have been really full lately.
Oh, God damn it,
Sorry.
Robert.
It's just my ears popping.
Okay. Don't forget to ask for permission to see Robert. Shout out to our sources. Wikipedia.
Wiki.
And atlasobscura.com. We got a little bit of a quote ski. You want to read it?
Sure.
Do the thing.
The previous owners of this doll would probably have some spine-chilling stories to tell. You know, if they hadn't disappeared without a trace.
Wow. Who is
That's
it?
by Forum Wars.
Wars. Love it. All right, it's spooky season. And this one is spooky. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Did you enjoy, Meg?
I did.
It's a pretty good one, right?
It was pretty good. I wish I had my glasses.
Oh.
Sometimes glasses help.
Next week, we'll get Meg some glasses. Turns out our insurance, we got to wait a little bit. But either way, we'll get us some glasses. We'll come back next week. We got a couple more stories to finish out spooky season. Can't thank you enough. Check out the friends at the show, Shinesty.com. I'm wearing the comfiest underwear I've ever worn in my entire life. Check out Copper John's beard. They got some ball wash that actually pairs well with Shinesty. Maybe we should do a collab. Use code BeardLaws. Vermont flannel. She's rocking a flannel. I'm rocking the flannel hoodie. Use code BeardLaws24.
Flannel season.
It's flannel season. And
hoodie
season. Where would you go, Meg? VermontFlannel.com.
Sure would.
Heck yeah. We got all sorts. Just, you know what I mean? Just hit the links in the description. Go to any Beard Laws account. Click the bio. We got all sorts of savings for you. If you want to save some money, cool. If not, she's going to keep you on. And we got to get out of here. She's sleepy.
It really is the comfiest flannel.
I mean, sometimes you just wear something from Vermont Flannel. You
flannel
say,
hoodie.
I need a little nap ski. And maybe you go over to the highest peak, one of our favorite places, our favorite dispensary in all of New York. Get yourself some blueberry sleepy gummies and everything else they have to offer. Go to the highest peak. They even deliver in the North Country. Hopefully we have some new listeners. We met some great people out and about in the old Hewelton, New York. We went to Douglas's Tavern, a.k.a. Doug's Tavern. We met some good people. We had some dances. We had some laughs. It was a heck of a day. So hopefully on this day, if you're listening to the time of the release, it's Columbus Day. Even though on the 12th, it was the day he, did the whole discovery. But we observe it. And maybe the names have changed, just like on some football teams. But either way, maybe you have the day off. I know I don't. But Meg does. And you deserve it. So either way, come back next week. Enjoy this episode. And we'll be back for another episode of Spooky Season on the Yore Town Podcast.
Ooh.
That's all I got. You got anything else?
Nope.
Have a wonderful Columbus Day. The rest of the week, month, or year. We'll be back next week for some spooky episodes. Take care, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye.